Alright, so this is The Legend of Korra. I'm going to be playing this on PC, though it was available for some consoles, but it has also been delisted now, so it cannot be bought digitally anymore. If you're going to get it, it has to be a physical version, which means you can't really buy it on PC anymore. But let's go ahead and get into what the game is like. Let me downgrade myself here. Take off all my bonuses. As you can see on the right, there's like a move set where you got like X is your normal attack and Y is your heavy attack, and you do like different combinations with different elements, and you can do different moves. And as you can see it where it says max everywhere, that is because each element has its own leveling up. So they're all at max level. I think it's like 10 pretty much is max level.
Let's go and get 'em.
So that means my attack power is going to be at max, is all that means. So airbending, which is super good. This is the last element you get. You start off with basically the story comes in and tells you that you've lost your bending. And it's through some weird spirit shenanigans, really. But what ends up happening is you regain it. You regain your bending one element at a time, just going through the story. You first get water, actually, and it is your only long range one, really. You can hit anyone with water from like any distance, pretty much. Earth, I think Earth might be the worst. I mean, it's really slow. Whoops, I'm going to die if I don't be more careful. It's really slow. Tenzin's advancing elements for me. It's really slow and low range. Fire is kind of just normal. It's just like normal punching. And then airbending is the best for close range, I'd say, because of the huge area it hits.
Only the Avatar can master all 4 elements.
And as far as characters in this game, so there's some battle results. I'll get into that later. What we're going to see here is the spirits are going to... My health bar is gone, but I'm still controlling myself, which means... And the spirits are really going to start attacking me. I'm going to lose in the cutscene here. Which is kind of neat that this game has like animated cutscenes. That's pretty neat. And now we're gonna flash back to where it all began, which is kind of weird because in the future we have all of our bending, but right here in the flashback we're gonna lose all our bending, so spoiler, you're gonna get it all back before you get to the spirit world again. So, if you heard the announcer, the story takes place right after the end of Book 2, right after the Spirit War stuff. And Bolin and Mako are just going to get knocked out in the cutscene here. And we're just going to get a brief tutorial on the pro bending mode, which is kind of pointless, because I guess this is a good way to just introduce how to fight. But what you got here is normal attack for your bending. I can freely move around, but I can dodge around to be faster. If you dodge 3 times or something like that, then I guess it's your 4th dodge. It has a lot of end lag there, so you can't be dodging too much. You can press R2 to block. You cannot hold... I'm sorry. R2 is dodge. You can press L2 to block. You cannot hold it. Like if I hold it, she'll eventually stop blocking. But it does last for a few seconds. And if you press the block button right at the correct time, then you'll reflect an attack back at the opponent. And if you get into the pro bending mode and try to beat it on hardest difficulty, you're definitely going to have to master how this plays. But as for story goes, you never have any pro bending fights in the story, except for this one right here. So mastering it is really inconsequential to just playing the game. And if I want to go quick here, I can focus on that one guy in the back if I really want to, in the hopes of just knocking him out. Come on. Alright. So, the pro bending rules are that if all of your guys get knocked out of one area, then they all move back to one behind that. Whether they got knocked even farther back or not, they go just to the furthest or the closest knocked back area. And of course, if you get knocked off the back, then you're out for the round, which means you can come back in the next round if your whole team doesn't get knocked out. If your whole team gets knocked out, then that's the match. It's over. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip cutscenes here. Basically, you get attacked by some chi blockers and an old man who is like a spirit, as you'll see right here.
Quickly, we must begin the extraction while she is weak. She's waking up. Stop her.
So yeah, he's out of there. He's clearly not a normal person. And
I'm afraid your bending is blocked.
Korra realizes right now all of her bending is gone. But because I am continuing the game, once you get your bending back, you can, level select and play any level you want. I'm already at the end of the game, and so I have all my bending back. But just remember that when you're playing this as a new game, you're not going to have any bending.
Gotta get to Air Temple Island. Maybe Tenzin can help me figure out what's going on.
As far as characters that you see in the game, you play as Korra the entire game. You see a Janora, she talks to you with her spirit
I'm afraid I cannot allow
way that she does. You don't ever see Tenzin. You heard his voice a little bit earlier.
I might not be able to bend, but my fists still work.
When you get an enemy stunned, you'll see like that B pop up. If you block their attack or block at the right time, they'll get like a little prompt button, and then you do that and you'll usually knock them out, unless it's like a boss type character.
Why are the chi blockers still here?
So yeah, you see Mako and Bolin in the bending arena.
But who is he?
Other than that, you don't see any other characters other than enemies, which are all chi blockers and the three main thug guys. They just reuse these characters the entire game. So yeah, right now I wouldn't have any bending, so I'd have to be up close to literally punch and kick these guys. There's a little finisher right there. And a medal. Platinum is the highest medal you can get. Gold is below that, and then silver and bronze, of course. There are some destructible environments, so you can break stuff if you just hit it a bunch. Earth might be the strongest element as far as single hits go, but I mean, it's pretty close range and slow, so I don't really think it's very useful in battle. Fire bending is really just like regular punches and kicks, but it's all pretty fast, so it's more usable that way. And using those like finisher moves where the enemy's stunned, and like blocking attacks and countering enemy attacks like that, these kind of things will really raise your rank when you're going for those battles. And not every battle is ranked. It's really just certain groups of enemies will be ranked on how well you do. Also, the outfit I'm using, I'm actually just remembering, is the unlocked outfit for beating pro bending on the highest difficulty. This is basically like, I don't know, her season 1 outfit? But there are other outfits you can unlock. I cannot change outfits on this screen. But there's also a shop that you can go to in between levels or when you die. And in that shop you can buy these power-ups or equipment things, which you can use to like double your spirit energy that you gain, which is what you use to buy stuff in the shop. I currently have the 600,000 up there, which I've already bought everything because I beat the game 3 times. I beat the game on normal difficulty first because I figured that would be good. Then I went through again on the casual or easy difficulty, where I Basically focused on maxing out or buying out everything on the shop and maxing out my bending element levels. And then I finally went through on the extreme or hard difficulty, which is where you actually really need to be leveled up beforehand to go into, because on the extreme difficulty, it actually is very difficult to play. What it does is it doesn't just give enemies more attack power and such, but it actually adds in more enemies and more difficult enemies. What I do like about these levels is that they do have some elements of platforming. So like I come in here and there's a treasure chest up here with a random artifact item in here. If I look at my... it's not on the screen. It'll have to be on the chapter selection screen. But like I said, wind is, or air I should say, is probably the best for close combat. And did I get them all? I guess I got them all. There are certain objects like this where you need certain bending elements to get past obstacles. Also, your heavy attack, if you hold it, you can charge up and get more power out of it. In fact, what it did was it unleashed my meter up there that's slowly decreasing right now. By holding my heavy attack, it gave me, I don't know what that meter is really called, but a special meter, which means my bending is more powerful now. So as you can see, I've got a lot more air currents whirling around me. My water bending will be stronger. Everything will be stronger. Once it runs out, then you can see my airbending here. Airbending is most noticeable, I think. The other elements do get bigger when you attack, but as you can see, that versus this, I got a lot more little whirlwinds coming around me, which just covers more area, so it makes my attacks better. And it goes with all the elements. All the elements get stronger, so like those earth chunks are a lot bigger as they're coming out of the ground. Oh, I got platinum on that. Ah, come on. So like, I got graded for that last group, but not this group. I was closed off in the area, but I still wasn't graded for that. So let's go ahead. The levels can be moderately length. They're not like super short. Probably like 10-15 minutes a level at least. Depending on if you try to run through it really fast, or if you're exploring and doing finding some of the secrets. So yeah, doing a single heavy attack with each element, there's like different types of stuff to do, but if you hold it, then it'll charge up that meter, which will just make your attacks bigger, pretty much. So I guess the strategy is to do that right before you go into like a group of enemies, or at the very start of a battle. Getting those little random items also just kind of give you more spirit energy at the end of a level. Also, so let's see if I can explain this. All these moves over on the right, like you don't start with all those button combinations. You have to buy your moves, a bunch of your moves in the shop with your spirit points. And that includes with all these things, like different abilities give you more stuff to do, which is interesting. Like increased speed. A really crucial one for a lot of the game would probably be the healing one. Oh, this one right here. So you'll just slowly heal your health over time. But yeah, you can move I got that move faster one and the healing one. That's a pretty good combination. Oh yeah, also you can press in the left stick to lock onto enemies. And that way you can see like their individual health bar.
Can you hear me?
You can double tap the dodge button to do stuff like with the fire bending. You can sort of boost yourself forward like that. Air bending will be like an air scooter, but you can't hold it. That's as far as I go. I want to block these guys at the right time. Nope. So yeah, lock on. I can press the right stick around to change my targets, and the camera will follow them. If I'm locked on, I can press the left stick in again to unlock. Pressing in the right stick without being locked on will just move the camera behind you, which is something that's not very convenient to do. I wish it was on a different button. Can you reach? You can't reconfigure the buttons either. You can only turn on and off vibration. There's the usual camera options, sound options, and display settings, at least on PC. You know, not all these display settings are probably on any of the console versions. You can jump back to the chapter menu and resume here. I believe this is like the last part here, so when you finally get to the end of the game, you can see that white circle in the middle of my bending elements up here. That is my avatar state meter. It is fully charged, which means I can go into the avatar state by pressing L and R together, which just makes me super duper powerful. I can just heavy attack, area attack, or press, you know, the regular attack button a bunch of times just to area wipe out people. But again, you don't get this until the very end of the game, and it's over just like that. It doesn't last forever. It only lasts for a short while. But you can get an item from the spirit shop, which lets you activate it at least once per area. Gonna go ahead and skip this to get to the next screen, which is this Naga section. So a bunch of the levels will have one of these Naga sections built in, so you just kind of have to collect a bunch of these spirit things. And your bending, when you get your bending back, will give you different things. So like air bending will allow you to give like a speed boost, which increases your jump range as well. So like I can jump over like a whole section like that with my speed boost. You can press R2 to duck. You do have to manually press left and right to go around turns, which is a little tricky. You got the water bending, which puts up a one-time hit shield, so you'll be able to block one hit of damage. Oops, barely escaping those things. Fire bending lets you shoot fire at stuff, so if there are obstacles in the way, you can attempt to get rid of them. Earth bending lets you kind of double jump by putting up an earth pillar. And that is the gist of everything. If you run into something, then you like this. If you run into a wall, you get sent back to your last checkpoint, which there are a good handful of checkpoints in these running sections. And like I said, you manually choose when you go around a turn. Whoa, I am getting off the ground there. But when you do get killed or anything like that, you can go back to the shop, pick up any of these one-time use items up here, which you can carry like 3 of those, one of these each. These are all like your moves right here, these scrolls. And then like these are like the equipable items. Some of them are unlocked for purchase after points in the game. They do cost a bunch. Some of them do cost a lot of spirit points, but as you can see, I've already gotten everything here. So if we go ahead and just finish off the level here. The music for the game is all like just stuff from the show. I don't really recall any unique tracks unless it was like kind of more ambient type stuff just for like the Spirit World levels or something. I believe your rank on these particular missions are... Whoa, I made a turn at the last second when I wanted to just
Time to get serious.
shift over my lane. I guess that was a mistake on my part. Gonna go ahead and jump up here. Alright. Let's go ahead and speed up. Put up a shield. Dodge underneath that, and oop. Then that's the end of the level.
Good job, girl.
So getting all the, I guess going for all platinum medals doesn't really get you anything in the game. There may be achievements tied to it, but there wasn't any unlocks tied to it in the game. These are all those little items I picked up. They just give me extra spirit points at the end of the level, which are all good for, you know, going into the shop. But as we go into my collection here, you can see these are all the different items. They don't really do anything for you, they're just collectibles. I haven't gotten them all because they are randomly given to you out of those chests, so the only way to get them all is to just basically play the game a ton without any particular challenges, because they're just randomly given to you. If I go to my room now, I can change costumes, and these are all, I believe this is the normal costume you start with, and then you can unlock these other costumes. In fact, this costume and this costume, I believe, are only unlocked with passwords. So there's not even a way to just unlock it naturally by playing the game, which is pretty disappointing. But yeah, you can equip up to 4 of these items. And that is pretty much all there is to the game. If I want to outline the story here, you got that level, which you just did. You go to the temple. This is where you get your waterbending back. On Air Temple Island. There's another level in Republic City. You get your earth bending back while fighting a robot or a mech suit. South Pole, you get your fire bending back by just keeping a combo going for a long time. These are specifically done in these levels. They aren't like things you can just do on any level of the game. And on this chapter select, you can even, you know, go to the Naga running section to practice that if you want. Spirit World, you get your air bending back finally. And then this level is like a rehash of levels. You go through some scenarios that you went through previously, and then you finally fight the boss. So yeah, that is the whole game. And there are 3 different difficulties, and it saves your progress per difficulty. And I guess that's all there is to say about it. If we go into the pro bending section, there's just a difficulty selection here. And really, I kind of wish there was a multiplayer of this, because playing pro bending myself in this game, it's actually pretty fun. It took pretty much the whole Bolin and Mako get stronger in this mode based on your bending levels in the main game. And it's pretty much you can just easily sweep all of your opponents at that point by just getting knockouts every first round up until the very last battle. Oh yeah, this is also a good time to point out the opponents can also deflect your attacks back at them. If you ever see one of the bending elements just sitting in front of one of these guys, yeah, so even though I got knocked back, as long as we get all their guys knocked back out of their starting spot. Oh, if you could see, if you see where one of the guys is holding the water back like that, that means he's also deflecting it back, and it can only be deflected back up to a certain number of times, I think, but I guess I could just focus on this guy. If I knock him out now, then he'll be out for the game. Or the round, I should say. If the time runs out, then whichever team is further advanced will just win the round. But again, if you just get a knockout, then that's all there is to it. So I kind of wish there was a multiplayer aspect to this. It'd be pretty cool. Because it's not just, as you can see, that guy was holding some of the stuff, doing the deflection. So as I was saying, pretty much you can just sweep your opponents all the way up until the very last match on Ace difficulty. That was the only one where I actually had to figure out really how to play the game. And that is The Legend of Korra. Again, it is, I guess it's a pretty short game, but if you're up for replaying it to get everything, then you'll get a little bit more out of it. Let's go ahead and finish up here. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the game, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.